Then the conductor walks out. And when the conductor walks out, the audience starts clapping. But the musicians never lose their fixed posture. The conductor comes out, and the conductor shakes the hand of the first person and shakes the hand of the second person, and then gets into and stands on the platform. And then the conductor starts to move. And it's when the conductor starts to move that everybody who is a musician in that fixed position starts playing. Now, this is the part that got me, Bishop and Pastor Marilyn. Here's the part that got me. See, the interpretation of the score that is arranged by the conductor, they practice that interpretation up until the event. But given the circumstances of the night, and Bishop, you told us to read the building, and given the atmosphere of the building, the conductor may come out and feel a different interpretation. And if the conductor feels a different interpretation, he or she starts moving differently than they did in practice. So it is incumbent upon the musician to keep their eyes fixed on the conductor, because the movements tell them how to interpret the score that night. So each performance, even though they're still doing Bach's and Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, has a different interpretation that happens based on the atmosphere of the crowd. And I came to let us know on today, when we have a fearfulness of God, we understand him as creator and conductor, and whatever atmosphere that needs to be released in my life as it relates to wisdom, we submit to that and his interpretation, so that the word gives us what we need in that moment. And when we get to our next show and our next situation and our next performance, we still trust the conductor's word to give us what we need as it applies to that atmosphere and that performance. Brothers and sisters, we cannot look at the word unilaterally. We must look at the word and the conductor of the one who gave us the word, with the ability to consistently apply itself, reapply itself, form and reform itself, shape and reshape itself to our situation, so that we can function with skill. We didn't come out of that situation because we were good. We came out of that situation because we submitted to the conductor and his word, and the word applied itself and showed itself to us in such a way that said, use this in this way, in this atmosphere, and you can overcome. I help myself. I'm trying to help myself. I need us to understand that when we come to the word today, Proverbs 1, chapter 1, verse 7. And when we come to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7 in 2 weeks, and when we come to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7 in 2 years, and when we come to Proverbs 1, verse 7 in 20 years, you just keep counting. When we come back to the same word, it's the fearfulness that we have for the conductor that says, you're going to use the same word and apply it differently in the atmosphere of my context, not so just that I can overcome, but I can learn how to overcome in such a way that it becomes a part of my tool chest. So when you use Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, after 2 days, I learned this. And when you use Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, after 2 weeks, I learned this. And when you use Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, after 20 days, I learned this. And when you use Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7, after 20 years, I learned this. And when I look back over my life, I got a track record now from Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7 that says I got skill in this situation.